Gemini, and welcome to Wild Magnolia Tarot. My name is Maddie, and this is your weekly reading for August 16th through the 22nd. Quick disclaimer, this is a general reading and cannot resonate with everybody. Take what does resonate and leave what doesn't. If none of it resonates, check out one of your other signs, or go check out one of the other brilliant readers on this platform who may have something more attuned to your situation this week. Also, this video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor, lawyer, physician, therapist, or anything like that. I'm just a girl with a passion for the tarot, and anything that I say resembling advice is based solely on my opinion, my own experiences, my own knowledge, my interpretations of the cards, and little bits and pieces that may come to me intuitively throughout the reading. So that being said, I do want to apologize for missing last week. It's been a hell of a past 2 weeks. Including travel, and a devastating storm came through my town and tore up everything. We lost electricity for days. Some people still don't have electricity and won't for another 2 weeks. So it's just been a mess. So hopefully you understand. But my goal is to get back on my weekly schedule again after this. Fingers crossed. And this week's spread is going to look a little different because I just wanted to try something different. So if you like this better, or if you prefer the spread I did last time, you can leave it in the comments, as well as any other suggestions you may have. So, did I say this is for Gemini? This is for Gemini. Okay. Starting out with an archetype card as usual, though. You guys got the, there we go, the Starborn. And the archetype of the Starborn has a lot to do with the idea of destiny, of having a set path at the moment that you're born, or like the alignment of the stars when you were born. Okay, so this can have a lot to do with astrology, but this is something to do with some kind of dream or understanding or calling that you felt since you were a child. If I have it near me, actually, there was something in the book about this that I've always thought was really interesting that I want to read to you guys real quick. It's a very, very short, it's just like one sentence to help give an idea of the meaning of the Starborn. It says, when this card appears, don't be surprised if you receive a surge of desire for a long-lost dream, one you haven't visited since childhood. Let this desire shake you up. So this could also, to me, indicate almost like memories from the in-between, or I don't know, something that you've known since birth that you've forgotten in the day-to-day, having to do with your purpose or what gives your life meaning. And starting to remember that feeling, starting to be drawn back to that purpose again. So we'll go ahead and we'll get more cards on the table and get an idea for what's going on with you guys specifically this week, but do keep that in mind as we go through the reading and over the next week. Let's see what the general situation is for you guys this week. So the main situation for Gemini. So first we have the Heart. And these are Lenormand cards, so I'm going to get all three on the table before I read them. They're meant to be read together, not individually. The Fox. Okay, so we have the Heart, which has to do with matters of love, anything that has to do with the heart, emotions, intuitive senses. Okay, and then the Fox can be, it can be a deceptive character. It could also be clever, resourceful, or manipulative. Archetypally, the Fox is a thief. However, he steals to eat. He steals to survive. And so it's deeper than just deception or thievery. And it has to do with, again, survival. But let's get one more on the table before I go off on that. Okay, and the Child. Alrighty. So at the center here we have the fox. This could be a deceptive character or a deception that you have to deal with this week. And then it's surrounded on each side by the heart and the child. This can literally be a child in your life. This could have something to do with your childhood, which would go back to the starborn here, which has to do with the beginning of your life. And let's see, so this could indicate something stolen or some kind of lie or manipulation that occurred in your childhood that affected you emotionally, and that continues to affect the way that you feel about certain situations, how you feel in relationships, your ability to feel love, or your ability to express love, and how you handled matters of the heart. We'll get more cards out on the table. Go ahead and pull some tarot cards. First card I'm going to pull, I'm going to just get some clarification on the heart card there. So we have the High Priestess in reverse. This could indicate a disconnect from your intuition and from your connection to spirit or the unconscious, right? Let's see. Which does kind of make sense in terms of the heart, because, and this is again just my opinion, but I think that you know, when people say love with all your heart, you know, some people think that love is something that occurs in the brain, but I do actually believe that that is something, love is felt in the heart. I do, and that intuition is sensed within the heart. I think the heart is where a lot of things happen. So there could be, if there's some kind of trauma or some kind of hurt, some kind of painful situation from childhood that has affected your heart, okay, this could have created a disconnect between your heart and spirit, or you and your intuition. So now I'm going to clarify the connection between the heart and the fox. And I threw it on the floor again. So we have strength. So whatever this situation is, or if it occurred in the past, whatever it was, it happened to teach you something. It taught you that you were strong, whether you feel it at this point in time or not. This is something that you've survived. This is something that you have, you've made it through, okay? Especially if this is something that happened within childhood. Obviously, you've grown past this, but it still does kind of sit in the back of your mind. It still weighs on your heart a little bit. But it was something that taught you strength. It was something that taught you how strong you are, how capable you are of surviving bad situations or painful times. So the next card I'm pulling is going to be a card that clarifies the fox on its own. And we have the Hermit in reverse. So this could indicate isolation, avoidance, even avoiding the world, isolating yourself from others, or another individual isolating you from the world, if this was something that occurred in childhood. Yeah, let me get one more card out. Let's clarify the connection between the fox and the child, please. So we have the Six of Cups in reverse. So this has to do with memories, nostalgia. This could also have to do with being stuck in the past, an inability to move forward or to let go and move on. So I do think that there's some kind of a situation here that occurred when you were a child that was very painful for you. and it created some kind of trauma in the heart. If you know a lot about chakras, this could have created some kind of energetic imbalance within the heart at a very young age that really affected how you grew and how you developed, and how you developed emotionally. Okay, and again, cutting off this connection here between you and spirit, but at the same time, teaching you strength. So this was very necessary in your development. Going back to the Starborn for a second, this is very important to teach you things that you need to learn for whatever your purpose is later in life. Almost as if it was destined to be. Like, this had to occur for you to be the person you need to be, to fulfill whatever purpose you have, whatever greater purpose you have in this life, like a divine purpose, right? So a result of that was this disconnect, but also the development of strength. So I think now you find yourself somewhat isolated, okay, especially if you have this emotional disconnect and you have a really hard time connecting to other people or opening your heart up to other people, to love, to happiness, okay? And so you isolate yourself. You're still stuck in the past. You're still stuck dealing with that pain. And so I think that this reading is occurring for those of you that this resonates with. This reading is, Spirit is trying to explain to you that this was very important. It was very important that this happened. And it's not something to regret. And it's to a degree. I mean, yes, you'll mourn what was lost as a child, but at the same time, there was something very good that came out of this for you and your growth. This has helped you become the person that you need to be. This had to happen this way. And it is, it's time for you to move out of this this pain, move out of the past mentally, and open up your heart now at this point to allow love in from elsewhere, because you've learned the lesson you needed to learn from this. You no longer need to hold on to it. You no longer need to hurt. You can now let go of the pain and embrace what who you've become as a result, and explore what that's given you, where it can take you, what qualities it has given you that other people don't have, that are special and useful for whatever your purpose may be. And you may know what your purpose is, or at least have a feeling about it. Oftentimes in a situation like this, it imparts on you a warrior-like spirit, okay? It turns you into a fighter. And the point of being a fighter isn't just to fight for yourself, but as we get older and as our lives develop, then we have the strength and the ability to fight for others and teach others how to fight for themselves, fight for the greater good, fight for balance and peace and harmony and love and happiness. So let's see. We're gonna go to the Cosmos Tarot. I just got this deck. It is a little bit different. So this zodiac associations between these cards is different than the traditional tarot cards. Each card is also associated with a constellation, and the meanings, they put a few keywords on each card, and they are a little different than the traditional tarot interpretations. And so while I read these tarot cards traditionally, I will read these cards more as they were intended to be read by the creators. So let's see what we've got. I'm going to clarify the High Priestess in reverse. Okay, so we have Cetus, And it says, underlying emotional issue, self-doubt, and fear. So this just confirms to me that the High Priestess here is in reverse. This energy is imbalanced because of these emotional issues, because of this pain, this trauma that you endured as a child. Okay, or in the past when you were younger. It doesn't necessarily have to be in early childhood. But because we have the Starborn here, I really do think that for most of you guys that resonate with this, that this did happen in early childhood. And it does have to do with the selfishness of somebody else, probably an adult in your life. This could be a situation where a parent left the home, or somebody used or manipulated you or someone in your family, somebody close to you, that created a lot of issues within the home, and that specifically created trust issues within yourself. So you have a hard time trusting other people, and this would also kind of indicate why you would have this Hermit in reverse here, because, you know, you're isolating yourself, you're cutting yourself off, you don't trust other people, so you're not going to open your heart to other people. Okay, let's go ahead and clarify the Strength card real quick. So we have Lyra, and it says play, pleasure, and indulgence. Oh, this is also the 9 of water, so the 9 of cups, which also has a lot to do with happiness, satisfaction, and contentment. So this kind of indicates to me that you have been able to find happiness within yourself, by yourself, in solitude. While you do have a hard time letting other people in, you're not necessarily, like, you're able to take care of yourself. You feel safe with yourself, and you're able to enjoy your solitude. And also, there's like, it's like the opposite of codependency, right? Very independent. You can take care of yourself. That's just what I'm getting from this. What you learned from this is that you can't depend on other people to care for you. And you learn that at a very young age. And so the Strength here, this refers to your ability to care for yourself, to fight for yourself, to defend yourself, and to do what you want to a degree, to not, you don't need other people to make you happy. You don't need the presence or the attention of somebody else to make you feel important or special necessarily, or to just, you know, enjoy the little things. Okay, let's go ahead and clarify the Hermit in reverse. Okay, we have the, what is that? The 3 of Earth. It's associated with the constellation Leo Minor. It says development, apprenticeship, and initiation. So this could indicate that it's time to leave this isolation. It's time to put yourself out there and open up, because there is something to be learned from somebody else. Especially with that idea of apprenticeship. Like, it's time to let somebody else in because they have knowledge and experiences to share with you, to expand your world, expand your understanding of the world, and also to develop your own skills, or you know, your hidden talents that may be useful when it comes back to this purpose that you have here. So isolation was safe for you, and it protected you, and it served its purpose, and now you're just getting to a point where now you have something to gain by opening yourself up, putting yourself out there, and, you know, trusting somebody else, which may be very difficult for you. Let's go ahead and clarify the 6 of Cups in reverse. We have Justice. Okay, and in this deck, Justice is actually associated with the sign of Aquarius. And it says social justice, radical effort, and rebellion. So this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, that this experience has given you the strength and the understanding and the knowledge and the drive to fight for yourself and in turn fight for others. Okay, you seem to have a pretty good understanding of what occurred here in this situation in the past, and that it wasn't right, and that you didn't deserve it. And then you see it happening to other people in the world. You see it happening to other children, and you want to fight for them. You want to put an end to whatever this injustice is, and you want to teach others how to fight for themselves, and support other people when they're going through a hard time like you did. So when you see people who are struggling, who may not necessarily recognize their own strength or what they are learning from their situation, okay, when they're still stuck in the middle of it and they're still in pain and lost, and when people feel alone, like, you want to be there for them to say, hey, I know this sucks, I've been through it too, but look what it's given you, look how strong it's making you, look how much this has helped you to grow. Like, you want to share that with other people. But again, that requires putting yourself out there, right? And opening your heart up to others. And there is a level of vulnerability in that, not just opening yourself up to other people, but sharing your experiences, talking about what happened to you, and, connecting with other people on that level in terms of shared traumas and things of that nature. So I'll go ahead now and I'm going to pull a couple oracle cards. And this is going to be just any extra advice from Spirit, or any extra insights that'll be useful to you guys in this situation. So we have Uranus, and it's passion, indulgence, and sexuality. Okay, very sexy card. But I think also this has to do with, again, that passion, that connection to spirit, that drive. You're very driven. And I think this also goes back, again, this ties in very well with the Starborn. Like, this is your purpose. This is what you came onto this earth to do. And you feel that on the deepest level. This is not something that can be muted or covered up or removed from you. Like, you feel that this is what you're meant to do. And you almost can't stop yourself. You just feel so strongly about it. And that's good. I think that's confirmation to you that this is what you're supposed to do, that you're on the right path, okay, and that you've found whatever your divine purpose is in this, this humanitarian action and helping other people get through their pain, learn from it, and showing people through your strength, through your experience, that they are strong too. Kind of waking up that fighter spirit in the people around you who are still, suffering in a victim mentality. And I know that has very negative connotations in and of itself, but there's nothing inherently wrong with having a victim mentality. If you were a victim, then that's natural. But this isn't about, like, invalidating whether or not somebody was a victim in their situation, as much as just helping them evolve from victim to survivor, and from survivor to warrior. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, I'm just gonna pull a couple more oracle cards, additional insights, advice from Spirit. Okay, so we have adapt. Practice flexibility and tolerance for others. And this again has to do with breaking out of your shell, coming out of isolation, opening yourself up to other people. And I can relate a little bit to that sense of, like, because you came out of this situation stronger, and you have a very intellectual and mature understanding of the situation and what it taught you, then perhaps it could be difficult sometimes to have patience, I suppose, when it comes to other people still being stuck in that pain, in that suffering. People who you're like, come on, toughen up, like, you survived this, you're strong, like, wipe up your tears and pull up your bootstraps and let's go. So there will be kind of, and especially if you've isolated yourself from a lot of people, then it may be difficult for you to relate sometimes to people who are kind of lingering in that pain. People who don't seem to be as driven to rise above it as you are. But everybody in their own time, everybody's got their own journey. And so part of this for you, part of the lesson is going to be, getting on somebody else's level, no matter where they're at in the process, in order to help them through it, and having patience with people who may not come to this conclusion as quickly as you did. I'm going to pick up the cards I dropped real fast. Okay. So the next card I'm going to pull is from the Flowers from the Dead Oracle deck. We love these. All my Etsy decks. They're so amazing. So we have the Snake, transformation and change. So this is a time of personal transformation for you, okay? As you come out of your shell, as you open up, as you emerge from your cave, right, where you were safe and warm and protected. And that's not necessarily a bad thing that you were in your cave for so long, because before the Hermit was upside down, it was upright. And you spent all that time in reflection, and you got to know yourself, and you got to understand yourself and, the world, and you really just sat and thought and reflected for as long as you needed to come to terms with your situation, to come to terms with your life, and to accept it, find acceptance, okay? And now you're at the next stage of life, the next stage of being, which is taking everything that you've come to understand and come to learn and coming out into the world and then sharing it with others. And in that way, assisting other people in their own transformation. So I think that this is actually very important. This is very integral. I think that part of your purpose that's indicated here by the Starborn card could have everything to do with assisting other people in their transformation, in their growth, in their evolution, emotionally, specifically. I feel like I dropped another card, but I can't see it, so I'll look for it later. We have just one more that I'm going to pull here from the Wilderness Collide deck, another Etsy deck that I just absolutely adore. It's precious. Any last words for Gemini this week, Spirit? Final advice, final insight before wrapping up the reading? All right, so we have crystal visions. And to me, this has a lot to do, again, with, getting reconnected to the intuition. I kind of read it very literally. Connecting to spirit, connecting to the divine, and possibly even having actual visions, receiving visions about your purpose and what you should do and where you're being called to work in the world, in your life. You have a lot to offer the universe. You have a job to do, and that is why you were given the experiences and the knowledge that you've received in your life. So you may be having visions or seeing signs or receiving information intuitively that is kind of just lighting the way for your path. towards that divine purpose. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from that. This is very spiritual. And notice we don't really have any Pinnacle cards. Wait, do we? Do we have any Earth? We have one Earth card. And it's all about growth and learning. So yes, you guys are doing quite well at this point in time from what I can tell from this reading. If this resonates with you, you are doing fine, even if you may not necessarily feel like it. You're just going through a transition right now where you're opening yourself up, and that can be scary. That can be painful and intimidating. But it's because you have something to offer the world. It is because you have a very important job in this life to help other people. And that is why you've had the painful experiences that you've had. That is why you've seen the bad, you've seen the ugly. Okay, because now you can connect to other people who have experienced similar things, and you can reach people that others possibly could not, simply because you've had similar experiences, and you've spent a lot of time in reflection. You've spent a lot of time getting to understand the roots of your feelings, the reasons behind the things that occurred, and also getting back into contact with your intuition, with spirit, and feeling that divine spark again that you felt when you were a child, that is reminding you of your purpose, reminding you of the gifts that you have in this life. So it's hard work, but keep at it. You guys are doing great. You're fine. You're fine. All right. So that's all I got for you guys this week. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated, please feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you can get notified when I upload every week, which hopefully will be every week. Like I said before, things have been kind of crazy, so I don't want to 100% promise that I'm going to be on time next week, but that's my goal, is to get back on my weekly schedule and have everything uploaded by Sunday. So yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to say. If you have any suggestions for any kind of readings or anything that you would like to see me do on my channel, please leave it in a comment. I would love any suggestions, and I would incorporate them into my readings. I'm always looking for new ideas, and I want to give people something that they want to see, something that's going to be helpful to them, something, providing the insights that people need to, get through their lives or to understand their situations. So that being said, I will say a goodbye for now, and I will see you guys next week.